Alright, so I'm going to do a little review on here on the Berkley Gulp baits. I have the Berkley Gulp Alive, but that's at my other house where I always go fishing. But I just picked this up today, just for the hell of it, to add it into my Gulp Alive juice. This is the only 12 of them, and they come in these little packets, and they have this Gulp juice, and the juice is like disperses 400 times the scent dispersion compared to other baits. And what's really good about the Gulp Alive is that it comes in that juice, and this really does not have a lot of juice. Another thing about these baits is that they are water soluble, which means they take on that juice very easily. But that also means if you leave these outside of this package or in the sun, that they will dry out. So if you guys pick these things up, you want to keep them in the bag and probably in the shade, not in the sun when you're out fishing. This is only the 3-inch in the smelt color. I feel like the smelt is everybody's most popular color of it. So I'll just open up the bag, take one out for you. They come in little Ziplocs. Alright. This is the Gulp minnow. And it's got this, gray top with a white bottom, and it's a really flimsy tail. Now, what's really good about these baits is compared to other baits, see how limber that is? Walleyes love that little limber action to this bait. Now, when I go fishing for walleyes, I do use live minnows every once in a while, but I try these, if you could really get on a jig bite, these are one of the best baits you could get. And that right there is pretty much what gets them. And, when you guys go to the store and you're looking for jig heads for these things, I get overwhelmed with how many freaking jig heads are out there and what colors to use. One thing you want to be looking for in a jig head is the color of your water. Now, if you got a murky lake, you want a better looking, brighter colored jig. And if you're in a lighter, clear water lake, you just kind of want to match what's going on with your ecosystem. But you also want to match that with the darker water too. And in the darker water, you want greens, pinks, oranges, and reds. And where I fish, it's usually dark. And I got the this knuckleball jig. I bet you everybody's heard of it. And it's a stand-up jig. And what's really good about stand-up jigs is it keeps that bait up off the bottom. So when a walleye comes and he sucks that bait in, he's only going to hit the jig. So say it's on the bottom, it's not in his face. When it's like that, sticking up straight in his face, when you're vertical jigging, that's what he's going to hit it. Alright, so I'll just rig this up for you. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your jig head and you're going to just, string it like any other minnow. Straight through the front. And you want to make sure it comes out straight through the middle. And just weave it on. Like that. So, also, if you're trying to fish these baits, you can rip another one off and put that on top and ride it piggyback on top of that. But where I go, this is just a little bit is enough to catch big walleyes. And you can still see it's really limber. So when you're jigging that through the water, it gets everything its attention. And the scent dispersion makes it really good. Now when you're jigging, you're going to want a rod that's very sensitive so you could feel all those bites. And I just have like a 6'6" rod. I got this like $20 at Gander Mountain, or Fleet, or Farm and Fleet. This is like one of the best rods I have for jigging. And I just have the same knuckleball jig on there, but I don't have the bait. And like when I bounce that, like I do vertical jigging, it's very sensitive. And when you're shopping for jigs, you also want to make sure they have eyes. Because if you don't have one that has eyes on it, it's not going to get up. They just suck it in more if they have eyes, because that's what they're going after, the head of the fish. And I'm not going to do a tank test, but I tried it out earlier on my pet bluegill in here. I don't know if you can see him. The water's pretty dirty. And he just went insane after the bait. So if you guys get the chance, you should check out the new Berkley Gulp baits and see if they compare to live bait in your lakes.